Good evening, dear students. Now we are going to discuss about pollination. In last period, you have already studied about structure of male and female gametophyte. The male gametophyte, is developed from the pollen grain, and when this pollen grain germinates on the stigma, it produces non later on it produces two non-motile male gametes lies in the pollen tube. These are the male gametes and these are non-motile. So this is about the male gametophyte. Similarly, the female gametophyte. The male gametophyte develops from the pollen grain. When this pollen grain germinates on the stigma, each pollen grain is dry, yellowish. Each pollen grains are ball-like, and these pollen grains germinate on the stigma, and later on, this pollen grain produces male gametophyte. Now, this male gametophyte, it lies in the anther. This pollen grain that is carried along with the different agencies up to the stigma. When these pollen grains, these are dry, yellowish, powdery, and when these pollen grains fall on the stigmatic surface, where they germinate and produces a male gametophyte. So this male gametophyte later on produces male gametes, and these male gametes are non-motile. Similarly, the embryo sac is a 7-celled 8-nucleated structure. In that 7-celled 8-nucleated structure, there is a egg apparatus, and in that egg apparatus there are 3 cells. 2 lateral cells are synergids, and the middle cell is egg cell. And this egg cell contains egg as a female gamete. Now this egg is called female gamete. So these male and female gametophyte are lies apart from one another. That is, the male gametes, are developed from the pollen grain, and pollen grains are lies in the anther. Similarly, the female gametophyte develops from the megaspore mother cell, lies in the ovule, and ovule, lies in the ovary. Ovary is the part of carpel, and the carpel, is the gynoecium, and it is essential whorl of the flower. So gynoecium, androecium, and gynoecium are essential floral whorls. You have already studied in the last period. The essential whorls, they are very useful in the process of sexual reproduction. So that anther contains pollen grain germinate to produce male gametophyte, and female gametophyte later on produces male and female gamete respectively. The male gametes are non-motile, and these non-motile male gametes are lies in the pollen tube. These non-motile male gametes are lies in the pollen tube. Similarly, the female gamete lies in the embryo sac. So these are apart from one another. These are also lies in 2 different plants, and they may be closely placed or they may be apart from one another. So the 2 gametes, that is male and female gametes, these are essential for sexual reproduction, and these are brought together. They are apart from one another. They are situated. They are situated in 2 different plants also. So these are brought close to one another due to the process of pollination. So what is pollination? So transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of a flower is called pollination. So transfer of pollen grain, these pollen grains are lies in the anther. pollen grains lies in the anther. And when this anther matures, the dehiscence of anther releases large number of powdery pollen grains. When these pollen grains are released, these powdery pollen grains are carried by different agencies like insect, wind, water. And when these pollen grains are carried, and when these pollen grains are fall on the stigma. So stigma is the part of carpel. When these pollen grains are fall on the stigma, so this transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of a same flower or another flower. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of same flower or another flower. This process is called pollination. So pollination brings these two, that is male and female gametes, close to one another. So because of this pollination, these male and female gametes which are non-motile, these male gametes and female gametes are non-motile, that means they are immovable. Male gametes lies in the pollen tube and female gamete lies in the embryo sac or female gametophyte. The female gamete is egg and male gamete lies in the pollen tube. Male and female gametes are non-motile, that means immovable. They are unable to move, so these are non-motile. So this is about the pollination. Now we are going to study about the types of pollination. We are now going to discuss about the types of pollination. There are three types of pollination: autogamy, zetnogamy, and xenogamy. So what is autogamy? The transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of same flower. Such a process is called autogamy. Or this autogamy involves single flower. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of same flower is called autogamy. Example: pea or maize. So in case of in case of autogamy, only single flower is essential. Only one flower is sufficient. And this process of autogamy is also called self-pollination. Autogamy is also called self-pollination. Now, what is zetnogamy? Zetnogamy, that means the transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of another flower situated on or born on the same plant. So it involves two flowers. So transfer of zetnogamy means transfer of pollen grain. Zetnogamy is the process of pollination where the pollen grains are carried or transferred from anther to the stigma of another flower born on the same plant or situated on the same plant. Such type of zetnogamy, that is where two flowers are involved. The two flowers that is involved, but these two flowers are born on the same plant, so this zetnogamy is also a type of self-pollination. These two flowers are born on the same plant and these are genetically similar, so it is also a type of self-pollination. So zetnogamy is a type of self-pollination. Similarly, the xenogamy means transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of another flower born on another plant. So such process is called xenogamy. transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma. Anther, so transfer of pollen grain from anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower, borne or situated on two different plants. So the pollen grains are belonging to the one plant and the stigma that is belonging to another plant. So these two flowers are involved and these are situated or born on two different plants belonging to the same species. So such process is called cynogamy. Transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma. Transfer of pollen grain from anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower situated on two different or born on two different plants. Such process is called cynogamy. So it involves two flowers and two flowers are born on two different plants belonging to the same species. Such process is called cynogamy or cross-pollination. Example, cotton. So cynogamy is also called cross-pollination. Where the two plants are involved, so it is a cross-pollination. So this type of pollination is called cross-pollination. So pollination occurs with the help of different agencies, and these different agencies are again two types: abiotic agencies and biotic agencies. So what do you mean by abiotic agencies? The agents which carries pollen grain from anther to the stigma, these agents may be living or non-living. So when they are non-living, that is abiotic, and when these agencies are living, they are biotic. So non-living agents include water, air, wind, or that is called wind. Pollination by wind. Wind and water. These are the two non-living agencies. So such type of agencies are called abiotic agencies, wind and water. Similarly, there are biotic agencies. So pollen grains are carried from anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower belonging to the same plant or belonging to the different plant and so on. So when these plants are apart, these plants are far away. That is, one plant is suppose that is one plant is placed. These plants may be placed away from another. That means few kilometers away. So some pollen grains are carried along with the wind, or pollen grains are carried along with the different agencies. The biotic agencies include insect, butterfly, bat, birds, and animals. So these are the biotic agencies. So what do you mean by biotic agencies? Pollen grains are transferred from anther to the stigma through living agents. So these are living agents called biotic agents. So these biotic agents may be insect, birds, bat, butterflies, snail, and so on, animals. So these are the two different agencies which are involved in the pollination. Now, the pollination which takes place with the help of wind is called anemophily. So what is anemophily? Transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma occurs through the wind. When pollen grains are carried along with the wind, that is from anther to the stigma. So this process of transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma occurs through the agency of non-living agency, that is called wind. When pollination is carried out with the help of wind, such process is called anemophily. Now, the anemophilous flower shows some peculiarities, or these are some adaptations. That is, these are some characters which are favorable for anemophilous type of pollination. So, what is anemophily or what is anemophilous type of pollination? The pollination carried out with the help of wind. Such pollination is called anemophilous type of pollination. And the flowers which shows anemophilous type of pollination shows some peculiarities or characters or adaptation. So such characters which are favorable for anemophilous type of pollination, such characters which are useful, favorable for anemophilous type of pollination, these characters are nothing but adaptations. Now, what are these adaptations which are favorable for anemophilous type of pollination? The anemophilous type of flowers are small. Yeah, for example, the flowers of grasses, maize, etc. These are very small. Flowers are inconspicuous. So, what do you mean by inconspicuous? That is, are not showy. Not showy. So, you know, the showy flowers are large, colored, and attractive. But the flowers of grasses are very small and these are inconspicuous, that is not showy. These are not showy, that is, these are not colored, attractive. So these flowers are less attractive. Flowers are small, less attractive, or not showy, inconspicuous. These flowers are mostly colorless, odorless, and without nectar. So color, you know, color, their flowers show different types of color, and these colors attract the insect in insect pollinating varieties. But in weed pollinating varieties, flowers are colorless, that is without color, odorless, that is fragrance or scentless, or there is no fragrance. Flowers are odorless, that is flowers are without fragrance. Fragrance means scent. The flowers are without nectar. Nectar means, you know, is a sweety or a substance lies in that flower. The flowers are without nectar. In Marathi it is also called makarand, or a sweety liquid, that is called nectar. So flowers are without nectar, there is no nectar. There is such a nectar is lies in the insect pollinating varieties, but here there is no requirement of nectar because flowers here are weed pollinating. Now the second adaptations for anemophilous flower is pollen grains are dry, light, and unwettable. Pollen grains are dry. Light means they are light in weight. These pollen grains are light means these are not shiny, or the pollen grains are dry. Light means they are light in weight and unwettable. Unwettable means they are waterproof. When pollen grains are carried along with the water, even these pollen grains are carried along with the water, these are unwettable in water pollinating varieties. But in wind pollinating varieties, pollen grains are dry, light, and unwettable. Light means they are light in weight, and unwettable means these are waterproof and produced in large number. Why pollen grains are produced in large number? Because most of these pollen grains are destroyed, or most of these pollen grains are wasted during the journey. When these pollen grains are carried from anther to the stigma, during that journey, these pollen grains are carried from anther to the stigma through different agencies like wind pollinative varieties. The large number of pollen grains are wasted. Some of the pollen grains are destroyed. Some of these pollen grains are also eaten by different agencies like insect. Some pollen grains are wasted, and so in order to achieve the pollination, the number of pollen grains produced in Anemophilus flower are large. So there are large number of pollen grains. Why this large number of pollen grains are produced? In order to achieve the pollination, to increase the chances of pollination. So these pollen grains are produced in large number to increase the chances of pollination. Similarly, the Anemophilus flower shows next adaptation, that is stigma is sticky. It's sticky, just like sticky, that is gum-like. So stigma is sticky. Stigma is feathery. Feathery, feathery means the stigma is feather-like. That is feathery. In birds, there are feathers, like this. So such type of stigma, sometimes stigma is branched and feathery. Stigma is feathery, branched in the sense like this. Stigma is feathery, branched. So feathery, in birds, there are feathers. So feather-like. So why stigma is sticky, feathery and branched? In order to catch the pollen grain. When these pollen grains are carried along with the wind, these are easily catched. So stigma is sticky, feathery or branched to catch the pollen grain. To catch the pollen grains are in this way. When these pollen grains are carried along with the wind current, these are easily catched due to the feathery and branched stigma. So this is about the stigma. Then what about the stamens? Stamens, that is belongs to stamens. That is they are lies in that androecium. Stamens are with long filaments. So these stamens are with long filament. For what purpose? The filaments, is the part of stamen. Now generally stamens are short in other cases, but here stamens are with long filaments. That means these stamens are versatile. These stamens are with long filament. Stamens are with long filament. So they are easily swing. So swing means they easily move. That is, such stamens are with long filaments. So filaments are useful for swinging purpose. Swinging. So they are slightly movable. So such phenomenon is called swinging. So pollen grains, are lies in that anther. So stamens are with long filaments and versatile anther. So anthers are versatile, they are movable, and due to such wind current, they are easily moved, and due to the movements of this, due to the Due to the such arrangement, stamens are with long filaments and versatile anther. The anthers are movable, and such versatile anthers are movable anther, and they due to the such movements due to the wind current, the stamens are breaks and the pollen grains are released. When these stamens are broken and the pollen grains are released, so this process is called dehiscence of anther. So stamens are with long filament and versatile anthers. Stamens are with long filament and anthers are versatile. Due to such arrangement, the pollen grains are easily carried along with the wind. Another and last adaptations for anemophily, that is stamens and stigmas are placed higher and are exposed to air currents. So when you observe a maize inflorescences, in that maize inflorescences, what is male flowers are born at the top of the plant. So for example, this is male inflorescence. In case of male flower, this is the female inflorescence. This is female flower, female inflorescence, and this one is male inflorescence. So these male and female inflorescences, that is contain male inflorescences contain stamen, male inflorescences shows many stamens, or male inflorescences is made up of male flower, and male flowers contain many stamens. So these are placed higher. Stamens and stigmas are placed higher, and due to this position, the pollen grains are easily fall on the stigma or pollen grains are carried along with the wind current. These pollen grains of the same pollen grains belonging to the same plant, when these pollen grains are fall on the stigma, so such a process of transfer of pollen grains from anthers to the stigma occurs, and this process of pollination is made easy due to such arrangement. That is, stamens and stigmas are placed higher, or male inflorescence is placed higher. Just below the male inflorescence there is a female inflorescence. So male and female flowers, apart from one another, but due to such arrangement, these stamens, that is, placed higher, and stamens lies in that male flower. So when these anthers are broken, pollen grains are easily fall on the stigma of the female flower. So in this way, stamens and stigmas are placed higher and are exposed to air current. So as these are placed higher, these are exposed to air current. So what is the purpose of such arrangement? These are easily exposed to air. That means they are exposed to air means these are exposed to air currents. That means such exposure means these are in contact with the air. when these are in contact with air, when these male and female influences are contact with air, the anemophilous type of pollination is carried out. Because the wind is the that is abiotic agency through which the pollination occurs. So in anemophilous flower, wind is the pollinating agent, and so such arrangement, that is stamens and stigmas, are placed higher and they are exposed, that is they are contact with air, and such contact of air brings the air pollution, brings the anemophilous type of pollen, brings the pollination with the help of wind. So here that is one of the important, the air or wind is the important abiotic agency. So air pollination, it brings the air, so pollination in the air. So pollination takes place with the help of wind. So anemophilous type of pollination is carried out due to such arrangement, that is stamens and stigmas are placed higher and are exposed to air current. So due to such arrangement, anemophilous type of pollination is carried out, and such arrangement makes the plant for anemophilous type of pollination. So such arrangement in maize or in grasses, such type of anemophilous type of pollination occurs. So due to such arrangement of stamens and stigma are placed higher. So why stamens and stigmas are placed higher? In order to contact with air. So they are easily, these pollen grains are easily caught along with the air current. When these pollen grains are easily carried along with the air current, so they are exposed to the air current, and anemophilous type of pollination is carried out. So this is whole about the types of pollination, adaptations for anemophilous type of plant.